difficult to break through.
It does indeed, and we'll have to see. That's a good turn from Vincinius Jr., but once again, that pace of Rudiger just coming into play as he manages to catch up to the Brazilian. And down the other end, it looks like George Washington are going to try to get an attack off, but good tackle from Benzema to dispossess Rudiger. Good pass back to Benzema. Now it's Vincinius Jr., but the passing it's difficult to get those short passes off in those closed quarter spaces. The defenders can intercept them very easily.
Yeah, and I think it's worth mentioning that it might sound very, very obvious, but the higher the passing stat this year, the more successful your pass is going to be. And I know that sounds like a really obvious point, but in previous FIFAs, you could get away with players with lower passing. You'd still be able to find the right player. But this year, I think, if you've got a player with slightly lower passing, maybe in the 70 rated or lower, it's actually really difficult to find a pass, and playing out from the back can be very dangerous.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that people are going to have to do more this year. Usually people look at centre mids and they look at pace, strength, dribbling, maybe shooting or defending, depending on whether they're going to be going forward or staying back. But this year, you're going to have to look at passing. You're going to have to look at it heavily, because if your player doesn't have very good passing, he's not going to be very good at passing. It's as simple as that. And I know it sounds silly, but like you said, in past years, it has been a lot easier to pass. But here we go, Vincinius Jr. on his way into the box, gives it to Modric, and it's a great save from Courtois once again. It looked destined for the top corner, but it'll be a corner now for UCONN.
Yeah, really solid goalkeeper as well, Courtois. He's about 6'6", I think, so he fills up a lot of the goal. So even getting through, it's still going to be difficult to finish past him, and you almost want to shoot from further out, because as you get closer to him, he just sort of fills that goal, closes down the angles. But yeah, we've seen Vinicius Jr. already having a couple of attempts here, and there's a red time shot coming in, and you can see there, if you mistime it, it just trickles through straight to the goalkeeper.
Well, you've got to go for it. You've got to go for a shot every so often. Obviously, it's not the greatest when it's a red time, but if you don't buy a ticket, you do not win the raffle, Matt.
That is it, and that was one of the commentary lines, I think, from many years ago from Andy Gray, if I remember rightly. Back
It's
in
still
maybe
in there
about
now, isn't it?
FIFA 08 or so. To be honest, I played with the commentary off quite a lot.
So do I. This year I did play with it for the first few games until I realised it was actually impacting my performance. You need a good commentating duo like George Overton and Matt Hayhoe on there to really get you going. But as the half-time whistle blows, it is 0-0, and this is a comment I made before the stream. I don't know whether it's to you or someone else, Matt, but I said, I think the first thing that you're going to see is the players are going to struggle to score. They're going to struggle to find the back of the net. It is very difficult to break people down this year. And if you haven't spent a crazy amount of time working on it and putting time into it, I feel like you will struggle.
Yeah, I think it's a difficult one this year as well, because we're still very, very early on in the cycle. I think the game hasn't even been out a week yet. The standard edition only came out on Friday, so
Yeah.
we're now Tuesday? Sorry, Monday, aren't we? We're Monday still. So it's not really been out for that long. If people have been out for the weekend or away for the weekend, and they haven't even had a chance to play, so unless you got the Ultimate Edition, you would have only still then not even had a week yet for the game to be out. So there's going to be a lot of learning, and I think there's going to be a lot of improvement and progression throughout this season.
Yeah, definitely, I agree. I feel like we're going to see a massive improvement week on week with the players and the pace of these games, because I don't know if many people have been playing much Div Rivals. This is a great ball through. Vincinius Jr. manages to get on the end of Benzema's pass. Vincinius Jr. one-on-one with the goalkeeper, but the shot just doesn't have enough power in it. It feels like he was always stretching to get there. Mendy wins it back. Valverde on the ball. Can he find the shot? He doesn't choose to. Goes to the chip. Courtois with another save.
Yeah, an awkward one there, going for the chip inside the box. Sometimes it can work, sometimes it does pay off, and it's a great cross from Alaba and a great header there. And that's another player worth mentioning, actually, is David Alaba. Really agile and versatile defender. Maybe not the most physical, but kind of has everything else. He can play it out from the back. He's got some pace. Yeah, very, very useful player.
These front post corners are very, very scary. As you're seeing Alaba whip them in, and the players are just getting their heads to him. It's going to be whipped into Hazard, not exactly who you want at that front post, but manages to regain the ball, puts it into the middle. No one's home that time. That's a terrible... I'll be real. I thought that was going to be a red card straight away, but the referee's, he's being a bit lenient. He's understanding the event.
Yeah, not going to bring it back for yellow card or anything there either by the looks of it. But yeah, weirdly this year they've taken out the ability to take quick free kicks, which I think is actually quite a frustrating thing for me personally. I like the ability in the middle of the park. There's a foul, you just get the ball down and you play it. I don't like having the standing start free kicks again. It's quite nice just to get the ball moving again.
I think it's a glitch, isn't it?
That's gone. I'm not too sure. This year it doesn't seem to be in the game unless it's something they're going to add soon or reintroduce, I suppose.
It's not something that they addressed, and as far as I'm aware, whenever you go to take the quick free kick, the ball gets kicked away, or the ball gets passed back to your player and he just stands there. So the animations are still there because you can't do anything. But I don't know. We'll have to see.
You can't actually take the kick, which is something. Hopefully they'll reintroduce it because it was always a nice little feature. It's not going to change the game, but it just keeps the game flowing if you're able to get on with it and play a short pass. And it's a very poorly timed slide tackle there from David Alaba. Can we see a little cross? There's Rudiger's over, and I think it's going to be a goal kick after all of that. As Rudiger did enough against Valverde there.
Yeah, he will, and he has indeed, as Courtois takes the goal kick, and the possession goes back to George Washington, who haven't... I think at the half-time whistle they hadn't had a shot. George Washington. I think those were the stats. I'm not 100% what they are now, but at half-time it was looking pretty bleak. And as you say, it's a two-legged competition on EGF, and you've got plenty of time to learn the game a little bit more, and there's plenty of weeks. There's 17 weeks of regular season play, so you've got plenty of time to improve on the game and stuff like that. As a beautiful ball that's played through for Vinicius Jr. One-on-one with the goalkeeper, takes a shot on and finds the back of the net. It is the first goal of the season, and it will be going the way of George Washington University.
Yeah, really well taken finish there. Played Vinicius Jr. straight through on goal, straight through the middle. Not quite sure where the defence from Connecticut went there, just seemed to disappear. But yeah, Vinicius Jr.'s got that pace to break through, held his own, and really good, calm finish there.
And that's why players pick Real Madrid, because he's got that pace, he's got 5-star skills, he's very good on the ball, and he's really quick as well. He's one of those players that just seems a bit quicker than his pace indicates. There are some players that have 90 pace, high 80 pace that just don't feel quick. Benzema takes the long shot, but straight into the arms of Courtois this time. But I guess that's why in foot he's so expensive. 5-star skills, ridiculous pace, ridiculous dribbling. He's got 90 dribbling, hasn't he? It's crazy.
Yeah, he's a very, very strong card. One of the best left wingers sort of available, really, on par with Neymar, I would say, this year. And we've got a chance here, though, for Dani Carvajal that's made his way forward. It's a ambitious attempt from the angle, but Courtois called into action. I'd be interested to see if we see either player use the new power shot feature as well.
Yeah, it obviously changes the camera angle. You can turn it off, but it changes the camera angle, and we're seeing press after possession loss. I think that was quite obvious there from George Washington, and there is going to be a ball played through, but it is offside from Faneca and UCONN. And unfortunately, I do apologise to George Washington, but I can switch off the screen now. I will. I might as well take the opportunity to. They've asked me specifically, please do not share our tactics, so we'll switch off that screen, let them do their
I
stuff.
feel like we should just stay on it. We need to see we need to see what the changes are.
We can see what their changes are.
Maybe we should, yeah.
Maybe
just
we
so
should
we know.
Have a little nose. But Asensio's going to be brought on. Valverde's going to be taken off, maybe. I'm not too sure. Still trying to fully decide what is going on. But there are plenty of options for Real Madrid. You've got Eder Militao on there. You've got Rodrigo on there. There's plenty of choices. There's plenty of options. And it looks like they're just going to go with bringing on Asensio.
Yeah, he's a useful player to bring off the bench as well. He's not the quickest, but he's got good dribbling stats. He's useful to have out there. And we're going to see that, Asensio on for Hazard, which is an interesting one. We've got Rodrigo coming off of Benzema as well. So difficult to say which team is making the subs, as they're both Real Madrid. So it doesn't really give you a clear indication of who is making the change.
And Camavinga for Cruz as well. And as you can see by the possession stats there, 44% to 56% in favour of UCONN. So currently against the runner play a little bit, George Washington with the lead. We'll have to see if UCONN can get back into it. Ball whipped into the middle. Rodrigo there, not the man you want. Modric going to play the ball to Camavinga. Takes a shot, but just no power in the shot at all. Smashing it into the ground. Easy for Courtois.
Yeah, a bit of an awkward one there. He was kind of like, sideways on. Couldn't get too much power in it. And I think if we're talking about the right substitutions, that was Camavinga that was fresh off the bench. And it was kind of like his first touch, really. So maybe not totally settled in the game just yet.
Maybe not, but good interception from Modric to win the ball back for George Washington. As haven't had too much possession in this game, but maybe they can look to build upon that here. Cruz gives it to Mendy, coming down the left-hand side of the field. Back to Mendy, to Vinicius Jr. Good build-up play. Benzema in the middle, heads the ball through and puts it in the back of the net. It's a well-worked goal, and George Washington breaking that defence down, getting themselves a second goal. And it looks like this game might be all wrapped up here in the first leg.
Yeah, the first leg. I mean, that was a really solid goal, actually. There was sort of like 5, 6, maybe even more, maybe even 10 passes in that build up there. Got it out down the wing, got Vinicius Jr. in space, and Benzema wasn't going to miss that header from there. Really good position, really good cross as well. 4-star weak foot, I think it is, on Vinicius Jr. And yeah, on his left foot, but it's 2-0, and it's a very strong position to be in going into the second leg.
Yeah, it really is. Definitely, I agree, because obviously there's no away goals or anything like that. It's just straight up a 2-0. 2-0 going into the second leg. So there is chance for the comeback for UCONN. They have looked good in this game, in my opinion. They've had chances. They've just been struggling to get the power in their shots, struggling to find the right shots that are going to go in the back of the net. And I think that's a big thing this year. A lot of people take the wrong kind of shots. Obviously, there's a few different types of shots now. You got the outside of the boot shot as well, which came in. Finesses, for me, are good when you're one-on-one with a keeper. You can kind of slot it past them. But yeah, I've been struggling to score goals. I've had games where I've had 25, 30 shots, and I've only scored 1 goal. And the opponent's had 4 shots, and they've had 3. It's because I'm bad at the game.
sounds like a you problem there.
Yeah.
Sounds like you need to work on your shot selection. Yeah, definitely. Long shots are fairly good at the moment. Those outside of the boot shots where you hold the left trigger or L2. They're really good at the moment. Time finishing is always an added bonus as well. But less on that as we see George Washington University run out with a 2-0 win in the first leg. So yeah, it's a strong position to be in. And I know we've said this before on many games we've cast, but the next goal is pretty critical here because, 3-0 to George Washington, it could be game over. 2-1, Connecticut could get themselves back in the game.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. It's one of those situations of if Connecticut get that next goal and they get that momentum in their favour, I don't know, they come out and get a goal in the first 20 minutes, let's say, that then really sets them up for the rest of the game. And, George Washington, they got a 2-goal lead, but they've got to defend it. I didn't think they looked like the better team because they scored 2 goals. They scored more goals, right? So that's all that matters. But Connecticut didn't look terrible. I thought they looked decent. They just struggled to get the ball in the back of the net, and that's all it was at the end of the day. But we are going to throw it to a very quick break before we get into the next game between George Washington and Connecticut. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a few moments' time. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to EGFC Season 4. We're here for the second leg between George Washington and UCONN at University of Connecticut. It should be a good one. We have a switch up of teams this time. It's going to be Paris Saint-Germain versus Real Madrid rather than Real Madrid versus Real Madrid. So it's better than having a mirror matchup, isn't it?
It is. It makes life easier when it comes to like substitutions, things like that as well.
Yes.
PSG have got the likes of Neymar, they've got Mbappe, they've got Messi. So, it's going to be a very, very strong attacking lineup there for sure.
Definitely, but we've got Neymar coming forward straight away, and we get to see a few of the players: Messi, Neymar, Mbappe. Renato Sanchez in there as well, Marquinhos, Hakimi. Some fantastic players in this side, and still, in my opinion, on FIFA, in head-to-heads anyway, the better team.
Yeah, I think so. It's both teams have got
Ridiculous
wealth
players,
of class. That's the
Yeah.
thing. Yeah, so it's hard to judge which team would be the better choice here. To be honest, I think Real Madrid probably would edge it, especially with their defense. I think all round they're slightly better. But both sides have incredible players and incredible talent.
Would you not put Marquinhos on the same kind of level as Rudiger then? Not in head-to-head?
It's difficult. I mean, on head-to-head, maybe. It's a difficult one to judge. I think the secondary defenders as well, though. Ramos has been so done dirty, shall we say, with his pace this year.
Yeah.
I think he's got about 60-odd pace, whereas Alaba's got a lot more pace. But the defenders are solid on both teams. Goalkeepers, again, very evenly matched. I think probably the midfield
really,
maybe just tips it to Real Madrid, to be honest.
Yeah. Oh, there is a chance, though. Vinicius
tackle.
Jr. Oh, Kimpembe just gets there and manages to pick up the ball. But I can't imagine Verratti's bad on this game because he does have really good passing and dribbling. Ball played over the top. Shouldn't trouble Rudiger. Takes a touch and almost takes it away from him. But not this time. Well played, playing out from the back, and that's the problem there. A player with a little bit lower passing to Tremeni, and I think it was to Tremeni, it was, and ball played through offside.
Yeah, it was a close one there. Someone was just, one of the Real Madrid defenders, just a yard or two behind the rest of the line there, almost playing them onside. But obviously, George Washington University having that 2-0 advantage, they can almost afford to sit back and sort of see how the game goes, really, rather than going out to score another goal.
Yeah, very true, and that's a great pass to Vinicius Jr., and it's a really, really good block there by the defending Kimpembe. Almost vital, that one. You would have thought it would have been going in the back of the net.
Yeah, a great block, and I almost thought actually that when the goalkeeper dived, I was hoping that he would get up in time to make the save, and he did easily enough in the end. I'm guessing he's gone with Donnarumma in goal, I would imagine.
Yes.
Didn't actually see, but they've got Keylor Navas as well, so they've got two decent goalkeepers for Paris Saint-Germain as well.
Yeah, currently extinct on both transfer markets. Keylor Navas at 20k.
Well, there you go.
There's
I don't know if
your
people are using him. But...
I mean, it was a good card to trade with. He was worth 13k a week ago, and he's probably going to go to about 20 to 25-ish, I would say. Well, you can definitely sell him now for 20, so could have been good profit for anybody that's looking for any trading methods, of course. Just hit me up. I'm a trading genius. I'm not really. I'm terrible. Matt's the one that you want to go to.
We're not here for that. We're here for the head-to-head, and it's Benzema going through, and it is 1-0. Connecticut coming through with the lead, I believe. So they have now pulled it back to 2-1 on aggregate.
It is indeed 2-1 now. George Washington, well, the lead's been marginalised a bit, but they're going to look to bring it back, and it's a great tackle. The ball deflects off the defender, almost goes into the path of Kylian Mbappe, but not this time. And yeah, UCONN doing exactly what they needed to do. Get that early goal, get the momentum running in their favour, and now let's see, is it going to be able to keep it in? No,
just over hit there, and yeah, like you said, the change in team actually for George Washington going for PSG so far has backfired. We haven't seen him attack too often here, but the Real Madrid are holding their own here, and he got the early lead, which is what they need. And went for the new, I think it's a 5-star skill. Went for the new skill move there, the heel-to-heel ball roll. I don't know what you want to call it. I haven't got the name of it yet, but yeah, it's a very strong skill move for sure.
Yeah, it really is. I think it must be 4-star because Benzema just did it. So I can't see. I don't think it is. My friend, who doesn't even play FIFA, actually sent it to me the day the game came out, and apparently it's really strong. And I've used it a few times, but you kind of continue in the same direction. It doesn't really move you, so I don't know whether it's supposed to be a speed boost skill move or whether it's just supposed to throw your opponent off. Not too sure.
I think it's a bit of both, and I think this year with defending being a lot more manual, it's definitely worth learning a couple of skill moves. I feel like the ball roll is less effective this year than it has been in previous years. But again, it's kind of what works for you, what players you've got in your team as well. If you've got 5-star skillers, everything is at your disposal. But if you've only got 3-star skillers, not quite as useful. Big tackle there from Kimpembe in the box, shutting that one down as well.
Definitely, as we see Real Madrid get the ball back again. Vinicius Jr. got a bit of space. Can he find the shot? Takes a little bit too long there. And the ball will be blocked away. Very close, though, to being UCONN bringing themselves even Stevens here in this game.
Yeah, Kimpembe's made a couple of good blocks. There's a good through ball here, but not going to be enough space for Mbappe to run into. And we haven't really seen much of Mbappe so far.
No, we haven't. He has been a little bit quiet, but that's always going to happen when you're playing against Real Madrid. Got a very oppressive defence. Great ball, Mendy, back post! Imagine. Imagine. That takes German crosses to a whole new level.
Yeah, that would have been, a pretty spectacular goal from the left back there.
As we come in at the half-time whistle, it will be 1-0 to UCONN, which means it is 2-1 on aggregate. Fantastic stuff coming out from UCONN. They did what they needed to do and got a goal back early on in this game. And as you can see, George Washington at Corton struggling a little bit to get anything going in this game. They've had possession, but just haven't managed to break that defence down.
Yeah, I think it's one of those where, one team has the lead from the first leg 2-0. They don't really need to go out and get another goal, but your opposition's going to come out. UCONN 2-0 down from the first leg. They've got to come out and they've got to get the win here. They've got to get some early goals. They've got the first one, so they're back in the tie. Do you see them pulling it level? And if they do, for the viewers that are watching that may be new to EGF, can we explain where we go? So if it does end up tied.
I mean, maybe you don't even know at this point where we go if it does end up tied. But if we see UCONN get another goal and it goes to full-time whistle, it will go to golden goal. A third leg golden goal, so we'll have to restart the game from minute 1, and whoever scores first will win the whole tie. It doesn't go to a draw. I know Americans don't really like draws, do they, in their sports? Basketball, they have overtime.
That's what you want that overtime.
I like
first
it.
Goal, first point. Yeah, it makes everything a bit more exciting, and I know within football or /soccer that especially in the Nations League, I think it is. Oh no, it's not the Nations League. It's the Papa John's Trophy, the League Cup. If the game ends in a draw or a tie, they have a penalty shootout, and the winner gets an extra point from the penalty shootout. So, yeah, that's also another quite exciting way to settle a draw.
Yeah, definitely. I think it was in Ted Lasso. He said, "Oh, you guys don't do overtime. You guys do ties and stuff like that." And I think that's what opened my eyes to it really, because football is a little bit boring with the tie system and the draws. Everybody wants to. I don't want to go home with a draw. I want to be the winner. I want to be the winner, or I cry as a loser. I don't mind either one, but I don't want to be a drawer. Either way, we're going to see an attack come through from UCONN, looking to get that draw. Hopefully not. Trying to get themselves back to level peg, and it's going to be Benzema going to take the shot on Marquinhos with the block, and it will go out for a corner this time.
Yeah, another good block there, and actually going back to Ted Lasso, him and Coach Beard are both in Ultimate Team, so yeah, quite exciting to use them. I've actually been using Ted Lasso as my coach, as we see possibly one of the worst corners I have ever seen, and it's Kimpembe on the break. Not the man you want running through on goal, but you've got Messi and you've got Mbappe on the overlap. Has he got the pace? Carvajal is trying to track back and close the angle. Mbappe just dragging it wide, though.
That's so unfortunate. That is one of the risks of that outside of the boot. They can just cut it a little bit too much and it will go wide. But that was the first chance for Mbappe there, and that's a really good pass for Neymar. I'm surprised he didn't run straight through. Maybe didn't expect it to get to him so quickly. As the build-up play for Paris Saint-Germain, Verratti gives it to Neymar, who is able to do nothing really in that situation. Has a plethora of skills in his bag, being a 5-star skiller, can do whatever he wants, but nothing coming out that time. As Real Madrid or UCONN, they've had a lot of the ball this game. They have a lot of the ball. They've had the lion's share of the chances. Can they bring this back to level pegging? You've got to think yes.
Yeah, at the moment though, they've had plenty of possession, had more possession, and I think more chances in the first leg, but still find themselves 2-1 down on aggregate. So, although George Washington, that was kind of their really first big chance there with Mbappe, that they haven't got anything on the board in the second leg, but they did score two in the first, so they are still winning currently, even though UConn are 1-0 up in the second leg.
So I guess they could just defend from here on out, really, couldn't they? If you've got to think every point matters in this season. Every point matters going into the winter break, going into the grand finals. You want as many as possible so you can get the best possible seeding going into the grand finals. And for George Washington, who are a team that were mid-table side last season, we could potentially see them perform this season. And to do that, you need to win every single game possible. Coming forward, though, Messi looks for Mbappe, but the pass isn't great. It will be intercepted, and UConn can now look to go and attack and get that goal.
Yeah, from what you were saying, though, it's a long way to go if you're just going to sit back and defend if you are George Washington University. So it's a long way to go if you're going to hold back. One more goal could kill the game off, though. If they end up going 2 goals ahead here with not long to go, they could seal the tie there with one more. But it's end-to-end stuff at the moment, but just not a lot of end product.
Is indeed. Benzema goes for the rainbow flick, manages to get past Marquinhos. Oh, the pass across goal was on, but couldn't find it. Deflected off the defender. Really good play from the defender there, as it is a corner for UConn.
Yeah, there was a good opportunity there for the pass across goal, but once again, the PSG defence coming in with the block, and it's another corner. And there is a new corner system this year. It's a slightly new camera angle. It's a little bit off-putting to start with, but if you can whip it in and win that header, good opportunity to get the goal. The defender there can't hold him up, and we get another corner, 3 in quick succession with just 14 minutes left on the clock.
A trifecta of corners. Can this be the perfect ending to the trilogy? I was going to say St. Maximin. Vincinius Jr. running through, and it's another corner. It's broken. We don't want any more. We just wanted the trifecta and then end it. But
can we? Yeah, just stick it in the box, whip it in. Don't worry about the short corner. Get it crossed in and try and win ahead.
Power shot, Modric! Did that hit the bar?
I'm not too sure if it did or it didn't. To be honest, I think it might have just sailed wide. But a good opportunity in the first power shot we've seen so far.
It was indeed, and it was an absolute belter. I'm fairly certain it hit the bar. It was a little bit difficult to see because of the latency on the game, but Vincinius Jr. coming through again. Not really many skill moves being used here by either player.
No, I think it's definitely something that people can watch and learn. There's plenty of tutorials out there that you can see. So there's an opportunity. We might see a cross here from Verratti, or just kind of slowing the pace down. Only 8 minutes left to go. We've got Mbappe in the box. We're just seeing some twisting and turning. Like you said, not actually seeing too many skill moves being thrown out with the right stick.
It doesn't really need to be much. It just can be a simple ball roll. Just a simple ball roll to get your ball past the opponent, to glide the tackle. Benzema running into the box. Kimpembe can catch up to him fairly easily. And
he's got no stamina left. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Benzema has no stamina left in the stamina bar, hence why he's even slower and probably a little bit weaker than he would like to have been.
Surprised there haven't been any subs, really. You get 5 substitutions in this game this year, as you do in real life. Benzema, though, lovely bit of skill. Sent the defender the wrong way, but can't get past the second. The ticking clock is running down, and it is running out of time here on UConn. There's one last chance maybe in this one for them. Modric going to build it up, give it to Vincinius Jr., but once again, the defender can just come in, put a foot in, and I think George Washington know they can just run this one down.
Yeah, just 2 minutes now of added time. We might see one last chance for UConn. They have won the second leg at the moment, 1-0, but you've got to credit the defence from George Washington there, just not letting any more chances come through. And we might see a late goal here that could seal everything, and it's well blocked there, but time is up. Will we get one final chance? I don't think we will. And George Washington University did everything right in the first leg and won 2-0. Did lose the second leg 1-0, but they've done enough to win all 3 points.
They have done indeed. And, well, George Washington, they can give themselves a pat on the back. It was a little bit against the run of play that game. It was difficult. They were defending. They were just holding on to what they had and Connecticut, they tried their best, but in the end, it just wasn't enough. In the end, they tried and they had plenty of shots, they had plenty of the ball, but could not get past that goalkeeper more than once, like they needed to. But we do have one more game coming up for you, ladies and gentlemen, tonight. We do indeed. So, shall we have a quick look at the schedule? It is going to be Georgetown versus St. John's University. They will be playing on Next Gen, so maybe we can talk about a few of the changes between old gen and new gen once we get back from a very short break, so we can set up for that game. So go grab yourselves a drink, guys, and we'll be back in a few moments' time with the next game.